It's game week. Game week. Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks. Game week. Well, I'm a little late this week. It's Tuesday. Getting this out Tuesday night. I gotta be honest. The WSU game took it out of me a little bit. Had to recover the next day. I only drink on game week. I only drink on game day now. And that game got a little nail biter there. Wasn't quite sure. I mean, I always had faith. We, the older Duck fans, always saw that as a victory. It was a tight one, though. There were some interesting things happened. We went a little conservative in the first half. Been really loving the play calling, throwing on first and second down more, just breaking patterns, not doing what they expect. That first half, when we went down to when we got in the red zone, we pretty much kept it real conservative. Was not really going. I don't want to question the play calling because it did set it up for a good second half when we opened it up. So who knows? Yeah, maybe the grinding those field goals out in the first half led to some wins in the second half. I'm not sure. But as you know, here on game week, we don't talk about the games. We don't talk X's and O's. We keep it fun. And we talk about previous games in the past. I'm out here from the deep heart of the Oregon desert, just outside Christmas Valley, Oregon, on a friend of mine's 20-acre property. Actually, he has 40 acres out here. Two 20-acre properties. But it's a beautiful day here in Christmas Valley. As you've seen now, we like to highlight all of Oregon, or there's a lot to Oregon. One of these days we'll get one from the Cascades, up in the Cascades. So we've been at the coast, we've been in the forest, and now we're out here in the desert enjoying a beautiful day. I wish you could see the mountains. There's some mountains back there you can't see. Anyway, my dog's getting away from me. My sidekick Bodie has trudged ahead. I got to keep up with him. But I trying to think of a good Stanford game that I was at. I thought of a few good games. They've been kind of a thorn in our side as of late. And one of the reasons I talked about the play calling to start this episode is I think we've seen some nightmare play calling in the past with Stanford in the recent past. We've also seen Chip Kelly's teams get beat in the first half and then just romp and stomp in the second half. Seen a lot of different things at Stanford. But the game that I think of when I think of a night game starting at 8 o'clock, that's going to be late. It's going to get a little chilly. It's going to be fun. It's going to test the resolve of the Oregon fans to be with it the whole game. It's going to be probably going on midnight when that game concludes. Hopefully it won't be too close like the game I'm going to talk about right now. The game I'm talking about right now is USC, late 90s, I believe. It was a late game. It wasn't the Fright Night game that we beat them really bad. I think this was in November. I just looked it up. And it was a really, really, really close game. Went back and forth. Ended up going into overtime. And the Ducks, to get into overtime, kicked a field goal, I believe. And celebrating, our starting kicker went down hard on his leg and hurt his knee. And now I was at the game with some friends, and we went into the overtime, and I believe we missed our first kick. And then it looked pretty bad, and it was late. So I got up and not going to leave myself. I wasn't planning on leaving the game. I would never leave a game early. But I was parked on the other side of the stadium. So I got up to start to walk towards the other side of the stadium. And in the process, we had to walk right between the most rabid fans, the season ticket holders that have season tickets right there on the 50 in the north side of Autzen Stadium, right next to the student section. It's an old group of fans, of diehard fans. They've been there forever. And as I was walking, making my way to the other side of the stadium, just in case USC made the field goal, and I wanted to be up ahead, you know, just get ahead of the crowd kind of thing. Anyway, there were several older Duck fans in front of me, kind of walking slow, and some of the people at the 50 started screaming at us, "You traitors, go ahead and leave now. You'll be sorry when we come back and win." Again, I wasn't leaving. I was just making my way to a better spot for when the onset came. But I was feeling kind of, bad for these elderly people who maybe, it was 11:30 at night. It was getting cold. Maybe they had to leave. And I think I might have said something back to some of those fans. And anyway, it ensued with a little bit of verbal back and forth. I don't remember the exact wording, but it was right behind the Duck bench. Some of the Duck players could see it and looked up, and I could tell they were like, "Yeah, boo to you too. Maybe we'll block this kick, And I was right there, right by where the kick was, in a little bit better spot. Some other people had cleared out, and they missed. And then we stopped them, and then our backup kicker made the field goal, and we pulled that game out. And we won that game, and everybody stormed the field, and I ran down on the field, and again, I never left. I was one of the traitors, though I was in the line of treacherous elderly people who were probably risking getting pneumonia at that point to even be in the game. That's a night game at Autzen. That's what we got to look forward to this week, is that kind of atmosphere. It could get late, it could get tired, people could get bickery with each other. And I know the Oregon Duck fan base now is not shy about telling each other how they feel. That's for sure. I said, what did I predict last week? I predicted that Bo might do something wrong. And the booers would come out again online. They're keyboard warriors. Wow, wow, wow. Why can't we have a perfect quarterback? Why isn't our quarterback perfect? I want a quarterback that's perfect. Like I think. Silly stuff happens. It was a bad moment. Didn't look good. That's the way that game was at USC years ago. It didn't look good. It looked really bad. It was one field goal away from being over. But Autzen Magic prevailed. We won the game. I think we're going to handle Stanford. 2 touchdowns is a little too much. Would not take the 2 touchdowns. But it's not really one I would bet on this week. I haven't looked at the spreads to give you some good bets, because every time I bet a lot of games, or say I've got a lock, it doesn't go well. When I say don't listen to me, I go 100%, like 2 weeks ago, which was, anyway. But the Ducks have covered or not covered. Let's see, they're 2 for 2. So it's hard. There's no real pattern there. I probably just wouldn't bet on this game, to be honest with you. 2 touchdowns is just too much. The Ducks could easily win by that. It's hard to say. Anyway, I'm kind of worn out. That's why this one's late. I didn't have a lot to say about Stanford. I don't have any great Stanford memories. I have a lot of SC memories. So I thought I'd throw in the SC Fright Night game. Was even better. That was the game when we just destroyed SC, and that's what I want to see this weekend. Like the Fright Night Halloween game, or that game in November 1998, or something like that. It was a long time ago, but it was one of the greatest Oregon games ever. Great victory. Went on. It was almost a 4-hour game. It was a marathon. That's what you should expect this week. Game week. Stanford, 8 o'clock start. It's going to be brutal. You're going to have to come, drink some coffee, drink some Coca-Cola or Pepsi, whatever you prefer. Get your energy up, because we're going to need it. We're going to need Autzen to be Autzen and that magic to ring again. It may come down to a missed field goal. We don't know. It may be a blowout like Fright Night, Halloween 2008, when we just destroyed USC at home. Destroyed them. Who knows? I really don't know. We don't know. We don't know. We're just fans. We watch the games. We don't have to coach. We don't have to plan. We don't have to practice. We don't have to do any of that stuff. We can just sit at our keyboards and bitch about the bad play that happened, or bitch about the conservative play calling in the first. We can do that. That's all we have to do. One thing I will say, though, that this game is going to take a concerted, monumental effort. The Duck is going to have to show up. The Duck is going to have to show up. He's going to have to be the mascot he is. He's going to have to do a lot of push-ups. You have to keep that crowd going, no matter how much the crowd wants to fall asleep. No matter they want to leave, they want to go back to their warm car. No. That's not an Oregon Duck. That's not what Oregon Duck fans do. We stick it out to the end. I don't care if you're 85. I don't care. You don't leave that game early. Don't have a big argument with the fan argument right behind the Duck bench that they can all see. That's not going to happen this game. We're going to be one unified team. Nobody's going to boo anybody. If a quarterback happens to throw an interception or fumble, and I knock on wood, because 2 out of the 4 games he's been perfect. Let's just see that again. Perfect, Bo. Honestly, the bickering kind of. This is a happy podcast. I'm not going to talk about getting sick to my stomach from the bickering and the expectations from fans of this Oregon team. Looks like it could be a good one. The rest of our games, we've got, Washington's a lot better. Wouldn't expect that to be an easy game. Oregon State's definitely not going to be an easy game, and Utah's not going to be an easy game. But those are 3 games we can win, and the rest of the games we should be favored in. So Oregon's looking in a lot better shape. A lot of Oregon fans had us 1-3 at this point. Had us losing to Georgia, BYU, and at Washington State. So, I saw a lot of people saying that, and then they expected to get going and win the rest of our games. Not so fast. We're doing quite well. We're 3-1, but it's the rest of the season you got to worry about. There's a lot of good teams this year in the Pac-12. I named the 3 that we can all expect we might have some trouble with, but you just never know. It's the Pac-12. Teams have good days. Teams have bad days. You always get bit in the butt. There's going to be, so USC is going to lose one. They're going to lose one. You watch it. Utah might too. I wouldn't be surprised. Washington, we could all have a loss by the end of the season before we even play each other. It's just the way it is. Pac-12 is a cannibal league where the worst team can beat the best team on any given Saturday. You should always expect that, and I don't have much else to say. Go Ducks. Step it up, Duck. Step it up this game. Keep them going. Keep them lively. I can count on you, the greatest mascot in the history of college football. I know you'll be there, and I know you'll have your A game on. And the rest will just happen. The Autzen magic will just happen. Go Ducks. Game week. Oregon Ducks.